I've come to realize that if there's something in your life that you're ashamed to air in public, or to show someone that comes over to your house or visit a hobby or a habit or whatever it is, then there's something wrong with that hobby, or there's something wrong with that habit. We had a habit of using this room in our house as a depository for all of the unfinished things in our life. And it got worse and worse and worse until it was basically an aisle that you could barely walk through, piled up head high of just garbage. Just unorganized, not garbage, but unorganized things, unfinished projects, all those things. One thing that God has really spoke to me about a lot recently is organization and order. Having your life in order, having your things organized, not being ashamed, having a place in your house that your home, not being ashamed that you could open up any room, any door, and share it with someone. This was not the case for us. What really showed some light, shone some light on it was when we had our open house. In this one room, we locked the doors, and Mrs. Wranglerstar said, "Whatever you do, don't let anyone in that room." So it was really it was embarrassing. And we finally realized, we need to do something about this. We've got our house and shop pretty well organized. This was something that just we hadn't got to. And so I have drawn a line in the sand, and I'm going to share it with you, my organization of this room and what I accomplished yesterday. This is the north-facing wall of our home, and off to the side is the aperture. How's that? Charles Dickens-esque language, a door, an aperture. All right. Yes, as you saw, the room is not completed. So this is what we want to make our mudroom. I know, it's terrible, a terrible door. It's on the list to be replaced. All right, so what have I done here? Well, you can see that the Wranglerstar family loves to go skiing and snowboarding. I started snowboarding in 1987. I used to be a snowboard on ski patrol on snowboard. I was a snowboard instructor. Been doing it a long, long time. Skiing I started when I was just little, probably Jack's age or so, and I do both. So I've actually gone back and forth, whether to snowboard, whether to ski. On any given day I could do either one. So our skis were all piled up in a big bunch. I had them stuck in a pallet that I'd screwed to the floor. It was terrible. These here are the cross-country skis. So what I did yesterday is I built some shelving using just what we had around the house. These metal brackets here are something that Mrs. Wranglerstar bought from IKEA a long time ago. We've moved them around, and I thought, well, let's put them to good use. And they're a good heavy metal bracket. So a really good way to hang skis and to get a shelf at the same time is to simply cut a groove in the shelves. You can see right there, 3/4 inch groove for the downhill skis and a 1/2 inch groove for the cross-country skis, those being narrower. The nice thing about this system here is everyone has their skis and their poles, and then the boots can sit right above it. Goggles, whatever you want. Jack's helmet, Mrs. Wranglerstar's goggles, so just some nice organization. Keeps the skis safe, it keeps the edges sharp, keeps them tuned, and just is not a shameful way to store it like I was before. One thing that, it just dawned on me, if you gave someone something and they didn't, you gave them something that was really nice and they didn't take care of it, maybe you bought someone a car and they never washed it, never changed the oil and drove it into the ground, how would that make you feel? And I think that when God gives us blessings or allows us to buy nice things and enjoy ourselves, when we don't take care of them, I think that sits poorly with Him as well. It wouldn't surprise me. So here's cross-country skis. So again, not to give anyone a sermon here, but I'm just trying to give you some perspective on where I'm coming from and what's been impressed upon me lately. Cross-country skis, the whole family there with the boots on the top, and then of course my snowboards right there. Split board for backcountry and my carving board, which is my favorite thing to do, and then regular snowboard, and then clothing. Everyone has hooks for their jackets and commonly used things. I have here, I put this bench up that was going to be thrown out by the fire department, so I brought that home, and that makes a really nice bench so we can come in and change our shoes, and then keep shoes and storage underneath of them, keep them out of the floor. It's nice that there's a tile floor here, and there's an oak wood here, but that we can take off and shoes can drain and drip on that, so that's kind of nice. Of course, wildland season is still here among us. We had a wildland fire yesterday, and so I'll keep that stuff up so I can grab it and go. Got my boots and my wildland gear, so when I'm on call, that I can go respond to that. Shelving here, again, snowboard boots up there. Some motorcycle helmets and such, my firefighter gear, and a med kit that I would take if I arrive on a call POV. Right here, that box is got tactical equipment in it, web gear and those type of things, bikes, mountain biking stuff, and then a ski box and various things that we use and get to all the time. Here is my great accomplishment. This does not look like very much, but this was 2 days in the making here. This is my organization system, and a very gracious friend of mine, new friend, Scott, that attended the open house, he came and he brought me these organization cabinets. In the place he worked, they were getting rid of them, I believe, and asked me if I wanted them, and I'm so glad he brought those because it's changed so much for me. It was interesting when I was doing this organization. I had boxes piled up and shelves, and it was really frustrating for me because if I wanted to go find a holster or a flashlight battery, I had them in 4 or 5 different locations, and it just made my life frustrating. Napoleon said disorganization is always in a hurry, and it makes your life miserable. So I was able to use these really nice shelves that Scott gave me to organize things, and I know now that if my holster, if it's not in one of these 2 drawers, then I don't own it. I'm not wondering where it's at, and I'm going to be really careful to make sure that those things stay in there. Holsters on the top here, the ones that I use more often, holsters that I use less often, and holster parts and such on the bottom. Magazines, overflow and extra magazines and speed loaders and things are all here now. Everything in one place. And of course, front and center in the top is a junk drawer. You need to have a junk drawer. If you don't have a junk drawer, as Mrs. Wranglerstar says, then everything becomes a junk drawer. And I think that's appropriate. Flashlights, parts and O-rings and all those little goodies that come with flashlights, they're all there, so I don't have to go looking for them. Batteries are in here. Electronics, optics, glass, miscellaneous camping. I don't need to go into everything here. Small pieces of cordage, camera equipment, first aid supplies, shoe care, gun parts, gun cleaning, and knives. I was surprised how many knives I had until I got them all into one location. I never considered myself to be a collector. And then there's some excess overflow ammunition and different things. Up here is kind of a little charging station that I've built. I've got the modem and the router, of course, for the internet, but we use the little talkabout radios all the time, just so when I'm down in the forest, I'll just grab one and make sure that there's one on in the kitchen in case I have an emergency, because cell phones are not always reliable here. My battery chargers, I keep those going, fire radio, and then just a place to drop off my pocket items. Now I can empty my pockets at the end of the day. I just put the things in here, I know where they're at, and then a box over there for hats. And then up here I've got just some more storage, and I'll continue to expand on this. This is the wall that I put up for my office. This is the other side of the firewood wall, and I'm going to get this sorted out. I'm going to get this insulated and drywalled and taped, and I'll bring you along for that too. So there's a lot left to do in here. This is just the preliminary stage and half of it. Mrs. Wranglerstar, she said that she liked this organization and she wanted to have something similar for her. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish all this up, and we'll put her on this side, shelving just the same for her personal things and canning and such. But I'm really excited about this, and it's just given me a peace and a calmness in my life that I didn't have before. All of that anxiety about that room and being ashamed of that is going to be gone, and I'm looking forward to it a lot. So yeah. I think the video is probably long enough, but I thought I'd just share that with you, and I'll share it more as it progresses. So we'll see you guys in the next video. I think for most of us, if not all of us, we could all benefit from being a little more organized. I know I can. I've got a lot of work to go into that. To getting things as well as I would like them to be. So I've got some treats for you here. On the top left is if you click on these small videos, they'll take you to the main video, is my recommendations for a 72-hour kit, or what I personally carry. So you might enjoy that. Top right, this is a skill that you guys could all learn. It's how to use a rope and a couple of branches to make a winch that will pull thousands of pounds. A simple rope trick that you want to tuck away that could save your life in the right situation. Bottom left is our home building a greenhouse on a real tight budget, using stuff we had around. We tried not to buy too much, had to buy a few things, but that's Mrs. Wranglerstar's greenhouse. Simple, easy design that you can do yourself. And the bottom right is, what is that? Water tower. Homemade water tower that we built using some pallet racking and a tank we got off of Craigslist, and it works really good. Lifting water up gives you a little bit of pressure, and that combined with a ram pump allows us to have an off-grid water system that we can irrigate with, that we're real excited about. So that is your home-built water tower. So again, thank you. If you enjoy these videos, please take a moment and click the thumbs up. It's a way you can support the channel. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next video.